Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Aneta, and just so you know, this isn't really a video you have to stare at the whole time. I know I'm doing some anti-marketing here, but what I mean is grab your sketchbook and follow along with your own work. The reason for that is that no matter how much I edit this later, the video will still be long because I'm planning to fill 2 pages in this sketchbook. I don't know how much I'll end up talking. It's my first time making a video like this, so let me have this little experiment. If you find it enjoyable, like and subscribe, and definitely let me know in the comments. I could really use some feedback on this. Okay, so I decided to start with a character, kind of a wood creature, maybe with a wooden crown or something like that. It's not my original idea. I saw it on Pinterest. Actually, I saw 2 versions of it. Same concept, slightly different ideas. And since it's often impossible to find the original artist, I'd rather just say up front that this isn't my own idea. I'm thinking about using these colored pencils. So I ordered 2 large sheets of paper a month ago, and I also got a few Derwent pencils, mostly in gray tones. There's a lovely lavender one, and of course a black because I wanted something casual for sketching. And these aren't super expensive. I tried them before on another paper and they performed beautifully. Let's see how they'll work on this one. Yeah, just as I thought, I don't like how they perform here. I'll try to make the most of it, but honestly, I'm not impressed. And it's not the pencil's fault, it's the paper. You know, as much as I'd like to be like those artists who proudly show their sketchbooks, and then you discover they actually work in big creative industries, I find that kind of unrealistic. I've tried some really strict sketchbook routines in the past, and honestly, I think that draw at least 15 minutes every day advice is a bit of a scam. Sure, you can do it, but so what? I wouldn't be able to learn much that way. If you really want to improve, you need to do research, think about what you're seeing, and dedicate actual time to it. Of course, you should work on being more decisive with your lines so you can draw faster, but still, I prefer to spend proper time in my sketchbooks. Oh, and I have two sketchbooks, one with a very thin, cheap paper that I use mostly for thumbnails, and this one, which is a Hanemule sketchbook. I paid a fortune for it, and I kind of regret it. It works great with gouache, decently with watercolor, but once you stain it, that's it. You can't really reactivate the paint to make a wash. So it's too expensive for regular sketching, but not the best for wet media either. I just don't like how people online push certain products like they're the ultimate must have, and then you end up disappointed. I even had this idea to make my own custom sketchbook, or like use A3 sheets, create some loose spreads, and bind them later. That way I can pick whatever paper I want and avoid those pages I'm unhappy with. It's also how you can make, a pretty sketchbook to show to others. Although, to be fair, before social media started categorizing everything into good and bad sketchbooks, I never even thought about having a pretty one. For me, a sketchbook was just a sketchbook. My only real concern is the paper, because I want different types of for different media. Okay, now I want to grab some fine liners. Actually, I've got these jelly rolls. They're lovely, so I might give them a try. I also have these brush tip fine liners that I didn't buy. I actually won them a few years ago during an online Inktober event. I won a bunch of art supplies, and that was literally the only time in my life I ever won something. Okay, so I kept adding details and I definitely liked these fine liner lines. They even gave me some ideas on how to draw trees in future, which is cool. And you see, this kind of discovery wouldn't happen in a quick 5-minute sketch. I need time to develop ideas and have those little aha moments. Now let's paint a pumpkin. I found a reference on Pinterest that I'll change a bit. And again, forgive me for not showing it on screen. I don't know the artist and I don't want to distract myself from searching for them. So yeah, this isn't my idea either. It's based on a reference. For this one, I'll use Inktense pencils and maybe switch to gouache later, since the reference is in a very painterly style. A pumpkin with a twist. You know what's funny? When I was a teenager in art school, I used to hate still life. I thought it was boring and pointless. But now I'd actually love to paint a proper still life with nice lighting and everything. The only problem is that it would take me a full day, and I just don't have that kind of time or energy right now. this page. I mean, not for this page, but for this drawing, I guess. Next, I thought I'd use some of my new watercolors. These are Roman Szmal that I got in Poland at the beginning of October when I visited my family. I keep them in my Derwent tin. I covered the logo with a sticker. This is where I store colors I don't use anymore, mostly from Szminka Academia palette. I didn't have space for the Roman Szmals in my main palette, so they'll have to wait here for their turn. I made swatches of these colors and I love this grey. That's the one I'll use now. And yep, I made the classic mistake of adding too much. That's what I mean when I say spend more time in your sketchbook. It teaches you to stop. Watercolor is fragile. If it gives you the effect you want, stop. Don't overdo it. Anyway, I'll just paint over it. Whatever happens, happens. Okay, I'm not super happy with it, but whatever. It's a sketchbook. It didn't turn out the way I wanted, but it gave me some ideas for future pieces, like combining that grey with a warm sienna, maybe. Alright, it's the next day, and honestly, I don't feel like sketching today. I just don't have it in me. I kind of want to make something effortless, maybe a witch on a broom reading a book. But today was one of those ordinary days when non art stuff happens. When you sit down to be creative and nothing comes out. That's why I don't like when people online say just sketch every day, don't wait for inspiration. Like, yeah, right. If I'm lucky, I might get back in the mood later, but it's so hard to switch your brain into creative mode after dealing with everyday stuff. I remember when I worked full time, I'd force myself so much to draw anything, and my head was still full of work thoughts. How can you create when your mind is just empty of fresh ideas? And you don't always have someone around to motivate you. That's one of the reasons I decided to make a video like this, so we can keep each other company while sketching. I don't know if that works, but tell me if you'd like me to make more videos like this. Let me know in the comments. As you can probably see, even the way I sketch today isn't great. Normally, on a good day, I'd vary my line work, think more about the outfit, but right now I'm just on autopilot. I'm not really satisfied, but yeah, I'll keep going. Yeah, I didn't achieve much here, just a very generic witch, but it's fine. I'll make some adjustments with acrylic inks since they're more pigmented and cover in one layer. Plus, they don't smudge the pencils as much as watercolor. As generic as she is, I think I'll give her a chance in Procreate later. Maybe overpaint her a bit, just to keep my social media rolling, since I'm trying to post more regularly and be more cohesive with my portfolio. We'll see what I can do with it. I think I'll wrap up for today. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you enjoyed spending some time with me, and I'm open for any feedback you might have. I'll see you in my next video. Take care.